And here we go. Things should be working. Well, normally, there's still this there that's buggy. There's nothing I can do about it. Not happy with that. Streamlabs updated again. And now it likes to randomly switch between my drawing screen and my second screen when I boot it. So yeah, that's fun. That's fun. That's the whole point of updating, isn't it? Screw it up, something new. So hi, if this is your first time here, my name is Shiro. I'm a comic artist, and what I usually like to do on these streams is I talk a little bit about what happened artistically in the past week, either to me or to other people, but usually when it's other people, it's a lot of drama. We can't have drama every day. That's hard. Hi, Coco. Oh, well, I think about it. Let's see if chat works for me today. It does. And then we move on to what I usually work on for you guys during the stream, and that would be my weekly webcomic Bootleg cookie. At the risk of sounding like a lot of my recent scams that I've been receiving on DeviantArt, I have a concern. It's actually a recent comment on the comic, on this week's comic. The list. Where I say, I know your list, you're gonna put all good things, I'm gonna put all bad things, forget it. Now, quick context like that, you have to keep in mind that I had recently dumped that guy, and I was trying really hard to stay dumped. Now, why I have a concern is that somebody on Webtoon decided there's a serious delay on Facebook for something. Like, let me just get the image. Okay. And how are you today? My ear pain can't right off. Okay, so I'll try not to screech too much. And they wrote, nothing to the positive, not one thing, that's a red flag in itself. Even not being able to think of anything positive is a bit of a red flag. Means that the negative is overwhelming the positive in your perception, and you need to get some distance and perspective to make a more clear-headed decision. You are saying this to a person that at the time was in their 20s, trying to escape an abusive relationship. Do you not see that there might be an issue here? And then I told him, because honestly I'm getting him vibes, to check the other comics to get back into the context of what was going on. And one I didn't screenshot, I simply deleted, and I'll explain why in a second. That person can F right off too. And they were basically saying that I was the red flag, and it was on him not to see my red flags and leave by himself. Sir? Once again, I was a victim of an abusive relationship that I was not inclined to get back in, and I did not want to give that man any rope to maybe think that he might have a ghost of a whisper of a chance to get back with me. But like people like that, literally you tell them, no, but you need to get the context, and say, oh, I got the context, and completely misses the context. I simply deleted the comments because honestly, either I was going to debate my freedom, or I was going to leave the comments there, and then somebody who is in a worse situation than I was, because lest we forget, I was lucky to notice I was in an abusive relationship before it went to the point of no return, because my abuser was terrible at it. And I would leave those 2 comments that person left there, and somebody in an abusive relationship would happen to read them and then internalize that. Like, usually an abuser would make you internalize that you're the problem because you won't talk things true. And we remember, this is the same man that whenever I tried to talk to him, or even if I fixed one of his problems, would burst out crying, curl up in the fetal position, and then give me the silent treatment for the rest of the day. And that includes the time I fixed his stereo cassette for him. You're telling me I'm the problem for not wanting to talk it out, basically. Sir or madame or they, though I am getting sir vibes, you cannot talk with an abuser. I don't know how much simpler I can put this, because I am not going to write an entire essay as to why talking it out with an abuser does not work. They manipulate, and I was stupid lucky that mine was inept at it. But speaking of abuser, we're talking about that again today in today's comic. Because we're going to be drawing what he did after me and Mom kicked him out in unison. Stereo kicked him out. Honestly, trying to talk it out with him, it would have been easier and actually yield results if I talked to a brick wall. As someone who has been sick for weeks, you have my sympathy. Thank you. It doesn't sound like it relates, but it does totally relate, honestly. Because when you're sick, you can't do anything about it except let it pass. Because you can't talk your way out of a cold. Makes sense? Artistically speaking, after I have shared my deep concern, I have finally tried out one of these. And what did I learn? It hates watercolors. You would think, because it's on hard, it's on a hard backboard, you would be okay with it. You guys are familiar with the concept of Buddha boards? Like you paint on it and it goes really, really dark. And then kind of blue because it's basically the water like sticks the paper to the backing under it. And that's what makes the color. And then it goes gray and white when it dries, and then you can reuse it. I had a Buddha board for like a couple of weeks. We will not get on how I acquired the Buddha board. I do not have it anymore and I do not miss it. So I put some watercolor on this. Like it soaked up like the water right away. So it left the watercolor, like the pigment of the watercolor, patchy, and it started lifting the paper right away. So, oh, I'm not flipping it yet. There's a reason. And it's, like I said, it started lifting the paper. It's still doing it, honestly. And, well, not really lifting the paper. You can lift the color, but not lift the paper. It was pilling the paper. It was eating up the paper and making little pills and dust, like eraser dust. So in an attempt to kind of sort of save it, I then hurried up and layered what I did have painted with markers. It handles markers better. I still have some tests to do with it. It handles pencils really good. Like I said, it handles markers better. Definitely better. And here's what I did on my first signature board. It's a quick little astro. Of course, it looks patchy because some of the spots are actually watercolor that I overlayered with alcohol markers. And the eyes kind of pop out a little bit more because I had made the base with the skin tone, and then I painted with an Artex acrylic paint marker the scleras and the shines. So I got other things I want to test with this board. I mean, I got it at a good price, so I'm not mad. You can only learn when you actually try it. I've had these boards for like months, and I was waiting for this month to start on them, and I finally did. So now we know no watercolor on signature boards. Alright, finally. So there is a shiny. Now, because I did need to paint something nice, I have another Astro Boy here. He's not done, so I'm not gonna show him right away. So I'm just gonna do one last thing here, and then we are going to switch to the screen, and we are going to draw Bootleg Cookie. Okay, something went broop. What was that about? So that means I gotta keep in mind, because I'm trying out, usually I use Fedica to cross-post, and I'm trying out the built-in Linktree version called Plan with 2 N's, plandat.com, and yeah, for some reason, like, it posts to most of my to my other socials, I should say, on time, but there's like a 15-minute delay for Facebook. So I gotta remember to take that into account. Therefore, let's move that to the side and move on to... Oh, you want an update? What's the update? But yeah, I was talking about the I have a concern scam earlier. I had one like yesterday, I think. Like, I really have a concern, and I kind of whispered, like, did you just get hacked and you need my help to get your account back? And then they blocked me. What I like about those is that at least 3 of the people that got hacked with that I accidentally reported you scam, they got their account back. I like that part. And then they came to apologize to me that they were hacked. Oh, it is the correct screen this time. Thank you. I wasn't asking for so much. Sarcasm. Also, I am going to knock on wood. Because with the new music that I'm using right now, I have yet to receive a copyright claim. Which I was getting at every 3 videos with the other software. Or I shouldn't say software because the software doesn't work and they won't do fuck all about it. So I should say service. I should probably get dressed. I've been in my robe so far. Mine is multicolored pastel with stars on. Yeah, I'm currently wearing Pappy's robe right now because it's my thinnest one and it's a little hot in here today. I just turned you on. Don't tell me the battery is... My kingdom for a version of this thing that is rechargeable with a good battery. It's a AA in here. One last thing and we'll get started, I promise. Carton Cat Girl, hi! Hey Cookie, long time no see. It is a long time no see. Probably noticing that I don't have the little characters walking down at the bottom of the screen right now. They're borked again. So I have to wait. Because now the borkage is that they have an effect on my microphone audio. Made my voice crackly, so I had to take them off until whatever's wrong with them is fixed. You just missed a big rant on not blaming the victims in abusive relationships. Thankfully, I record these on YouTube, so if anybody needs a pep talk about it's not your fault your partner is abusive. Oh, I'm not even reading the entire chat yet. When I look up, I'm looking at the restream chat, not the screen chat, because it's way too small and I'm old. And all I see is my old cat yesterday and emotion. That's going to be bad news, isn't it? There it is. My old cat Charlie passed away yesterday, so I've been physically and emotionally tired. That is understandable. That is sad, and I am sorry that it happened. At least you gave him a good life. Like, when Phantom passed away, I was a mess. I was too much of a coward to go look at her corpse to make sure she was dead. I had to send Mom, who is, like, I'm an adult, but Mom is like a super pro premium adult. Like, she was 15, and we had just came back from a trip, literally to another town, and I had gotten her some quote-unquote stilts for her bowl so she wouldn't have to lean so far to eat because she was struggling. And then I had to bring my ass to the same store that we had in town to return it, crying my eyes out. I had the receipt and everything, of course. I was like, I'm so sorry, I swear it's not a scam. Now, if the shape of the TV is not enough to show that this happened 20 years ago. I sure did, especially when we both moved out of my emotionally abusive and idiotic father's place. You did good. You did good. And unlike the very special case that I had on Webtoon, that tried to get me to admit that I was the red flag for not trying to talk it out with my abuser, I will say that you did good. Because you can't talk to these people. Not from not trying, mind you. But they do not want to be talked to, they want to be obeyed. And, no. You have my sympathy. Both of my parents were abusive. See? See? Because that is the thing with these people. They don't want the conversation to be fair and equal. You never listen to me. Well, first of all, you're screaming at me. Secondly, you never listen to me. And then they start gaslighting you and that it's all your fault. I hope this rubber hose pose is clear enough to emphasize how he literally took this giant swing above the TV to ignore it. Around non-time. Yeah, non-time. My sperm donor in a nutshell. So, I'm guessing none of us has had a good biological father. Because my stepdad is awesome. Like, I'm gonna brag for 5 seconds there. My stepdad is awesome. 10-10 will child again, you know? Like, there's a reason I'm fat and it's him. Well, let's have the reason. The other reason is me, because I won't stop eating what he cooks. But biological father, no thank you. No thank you. The man called me a mistake to my face. The mistake is a professional comic artist, so I don't know what he needs. And honestly, I don't care. My cat Belle turned 3 and I met my boyfriend and we were like, oh! We have baby cats and boyfriends! Dish. Like, no detail that we can recognize anybody, but... Well, okay, details on the cat. The cat doesn't really care if we dox the cat, but... We just want to know how cute the boyfriend is. That's it. We don't need... We don't need doxing details. However, dox the cat. What does Belle look like? No good biodad or stepdad, TBH. My mom seems to be attracted to jerks. Of course, we all know I'm feral. I would start slapping around. I am feral. I have no problem defending myself and, like, look, I'm 42. I'm going to be 43 this Friday, I think. Let me check the calendar. Yeah, this Friday is my birthday. I'm going to be 43. I am not above biting. I am not above biting. I don't care. I don't care if I get called immature for that. I cannot be the bigger person. I am 5'2". I physically, biologically, cannot be the better person in any scenario, the bigger person in any scenario. I will bite. Belle's a floofy cinnamon loaf. She's a brown long-haired tabby. Oh my god, the mental image. Baby! Before anyone starts reporting me for inciting violence, I am inciting self-defense. Because if talking doesn't work, I will say this. Don't hit first, hit last. Defend yourself. And don't let people defend your abuser for you. Well, maybe if you just... You guys... When you're in abusive relationships, do you think... I do not think these things. Maybe if I did this, he would. Maybe if I did that, he would calm down. No. 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 Because we freaking try. We did everything already. There's only so much excuse we can give. You don't live with that guy. He's nice with me. Well, yeah, because you don't live with the guy. Narcissist people have to keep their image up at all time. You're little and fierce. And rabid. I have a fur niece that's a Torby, and she's got an impressive primordial pouch that sways to and fro. It's almost hypnotic. Happy birthday. Thank you. I'm gonna be even more of an adult and absolutely nothing will change. Like, it's clear in my facial structure that I'm old. Except for the fact I have yet to grow wrinkles. But like, I can see that my face is starting to sag, and there's nothing I can do about that, and I don't care because, frankly, I'm in my 40s. It's about time, if you ask me. Charlie had a pouch like that, too. Oh, pouchies. Little banana slings. Now, once again, I turned 33 on November 8th. Oh man, if you're there in November, when I stream in November, remind us so we can celebrate. And Ronald, oh yeah, I am totally going to forget that. But I'm happy to see that you guys are also adults. Yeah, Ronald, you better come back in January to remind everybody. You're a little January baby. A fresh baby for the fresh new year. Celebrate the day, not the age. So yeah, I'm exaggerating and shortening down what actually happened, because what actually happened is I saw the TV and I told Mom. She was like, "Yeah, you want to go take an hour-long drive to that place?" And then she was like, "Yes," because she caught on. Because she saw him. I was still in bed. She saw him take like this super exaggerated cartoony leap with his leg over the TV. Like it was extremely deliberate.
Could you try?
Sorry. Thought he was talking to him. Because once again, like I said, he was an abuser, but he was a really bad one. So he could have just like walked next to it. No. Mr. had to put on a performance. Mr. was a student in arts and letters. Mr. was a theater kid. He did the whole flop, like the Ministry of Silly Walks flop over the TV. Mom was like, "Oh no, you didn't, bitch." That's why she was very happy when I said, "You want to take a drive?" I love road trips. That one personally, because honestly where I live, like it's very rural, so a lot of our road trips, it's a lot of the same goddamn trees in between scenic little village spots. And literally the road from where I live to where he lived is nothing but trees. Absolutely nothing but trees. You could see wildlife. You will see wildlife. And you have to drive slow, or else you will experience wildlife right in your windshield. Oh, don't tell me you killed a cute little fox. No, a moose killed me. That's the kind of wildlife we have. I'm laughing, but we do have killer moose. Whenever I see a moose on the road, I'm like, "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Go ahead, sir." I've never had somebody beat behind me because there was a moose in front of me. And I'm assuming if it ever happens, that's a tourist. You deal with the moose. I can always say I'm one of the Fae, but the moose does not respect the Fae, okay? It's like that here. Like, trips to Walmart for me, that's like a special event because that's a 6 to 8 hour drive to get there. We literally rent a hotel room for a weekend, and then that's another 6 to 8 hour drive back. We may be in a city, but the deer will introduce themselves suddenly. Like, "Hello, ah!" Okay, this cloud has a butt, and I briefly considered fixing it, but no. Uh-uh. Feel free to copy those links. I heard they had viscous bites. Whenever I see Moose, I just think of Rotten Toot from Brother Bear, best characters in that movie. I did not watch Brother Bear. Like, I have the image of the two moose. Mises? In my head. I don't even know what they sound like. But that is a me problem. Can you tell how old this story is just from the TV? I was obsessed with that movie as a kid only because of the awesome transformation scene. And of course the nod for the UHF that did absolutely nothing for us. One of the moves was voiced by Rick Moranis with his Canadian amped up to 100. Oh, that must have been, like, the best. Because there's nothing like exaggerated Canadian. Because, okay, I'm Canadian, okay? I'm Canadian. I'm French Canadian. As if you couldn't tell from the way I speak English. And it took me so long to figure out why the hell American comedians would always say that we say a boot when we mean about. And I was like, where the hell did they get that? I don't hear that. Like, half my family's from Ontario. I don't hear that from them. And then, like, 25 years later, I heard my first Newfoundlander and I was like, oh, I get it. That's where it's from. And yeah, I think he based it on one of his characters from CTV, I think, possibly. Like, there's so much to try and keep track of with celebrities. I am completely lost. Speaking of Rick Moranis, I saw Spaceballs for the first time 2 weeks ago with my Discord group. That I watched. That I actually watched. Everybody write down the date. It's a movie I actually watched. How did you find it? As in, how did you like it? Did you like it? First, you must have liked it. It's Spaceballs. Secondly, what was your impression? What is your review of Spaceballs? The movie. I have 2 old prints I still have copies of that I made of Spaceballs. There's one that's horizontal and it's Lone Star and Barf with a plaid pattern on them and dark helmet on top going, "They've gone plaid!" And there's another one titled Druish Lady. It's a dot matrix and Princess Vespa. They're in the desert. Princess Vespa is annoyed and sitting on her trunk. Spaceball is my favorite Mel Brooks film. Yes! Woo! Ronald knows what to say. Like, I didn't even watch any of the Star Wars in full. I have watched Spaceballs. I loved it. One of Mel Brooks' best, next to Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein. Though Young Frankenstein is still my favorite. Also a yes. I love Young Frankenstein. Spaceballs is very quotable. So here I've watched Spaceballs in both languages. I will say it's very, very weird to hear Yogurt call himself because it was translated in French, not Quebec French. So I would expect... Coco is going nuts in the chat. Good. Yes, that means you enjoyed the movie. Like, for me, with my French, you would expect yogurt to say, je suis le grand yogourt, you know? Because for us, yogurt in French is yogourt. No, they use the French word. So here you have yogurt calling himself, look at my lips, yogurt, but the sound that comes out is yaourt. I think it was yogurt that mostly got changed, and barf. Barf got translated to burk, but at least that makes sense. And it's mostly the same word. Because barf means barf, burk means something disgusting, but it can also be the sound of barfing. Just gonna fatten myself up a little bit there. I get that I was skinny when I was a teenager, but holy jeez. Well, let's say teenager. I was 18, but still very, very a teenager. We were all grossed out by Pizza the Hut, though. Yes, understandably. And somehow they're gonna bring him back in Spaceballs 2 to search for more money. Now, they haven't said that the tagline is the search for more money, but it better be. Like they say, we're bringing back the son of Barf, and people have been given names to the son of Barf. Who is going to be played by John Candy's son? And I'm like, yes. And it is great that they managed to get Rick back into acting. Like, we all know, and if we don't, we can Google it, why Rick left acting for a long while. And thank you for coming back for this movie. Now, if the movie could just be done before we lose Mel Brooks, because he is 99 years old. I think it'd be funnier if I gave myself pointy teeth. And he did, he ate himself, yeah. So how are they going to bring him back? They said they said they'll bring him back for the second movie, and everybody had the same reaction, like, how? parody movie screwball comedies are in dire need of a revival. I haven't seen it yet, but they did remake... Well, not really remake. It's a sequel. People keep saying it's a remake. It's not, because it's Frank Drebin Jr. as the main character, not Frank Drebin himself. There's literally a scene where all the kids are in front of portraits of their fathers. Last time I was so upset over celebrity death was when Gilbert Gottfried passed. Yes, that is enough to feel bad. Gilbert was, he was something. Like, I totally understand. Gilbert was quite the character. Him and Bob Saget, you know? Gonna open the list. Whoops, that's the thumb. I don't need a thumb. I need the entire thing. Just do I drop mom's clothes? Because, like, that is the same afternoon, you know? So speaking of Bob Saget, the director's cut of Dirty Work is in the works. A cut that was closer to his and Norm Macdonald's original vision for that film. I mean, assuming Dear Leader's okay with it. Anyway, another thing about bringing back Pizza Hut despite his death in the movie is also Dom DeLuise is no longer with us, though his son is an actor, even kind of looks like him. Well, they have John Candy's son playing Burke Jr. Accidentally called him in French. Barf Jr. So they're probably going to be using DeLuise Jr. to play Pizza Hut. As long as he sounds like him, because that was enough makeup. That's, you could put anybody in there. If I remember though, Dom, or at least, I only know Bob Saget as the dad in Full House. Oh, honey. Oh, my sweet summer child. He was also the host on the America's Funniest Home Videos, but oh lordy. Look up his stand-up. You're gonna make a jump. It's not gonna be as is. I didn't know John Candy even had a son. I mean, only reason I know is because that's what they said on social media posts, like straight from the Facebook page. But you gotta admit, that's awfully convenient. Like, there's this creator that I love that's Canadian. But he keeps his personal life so on the down low. Like, I learned he had kids. 10-year-old kids at the time. I think they're adults now. Or at least, like, late teenagers because they're the... Like, on his special, on a stand-up comedy special of his sketches on TV. I've seen a few clips from Bob stand-up and hosting AFV. Yeah, there's a difference. Like, if there's one thing I remember from when Bob hosted AFV, for some reason, they had this skit going on where they had this young woman and this young child dressed up as centaurs. And they cut back from the videos to that bit, and the two centaurs were playing soccer with each other, kicking the ball back and forth. And there's Bob Saget looking at the camera going, they like to be the centaur of intention. Knowing his personality, he must have cringed so hard saying that line. But it's memorable, I remember it. I must like cringe humor. And nobody was surprised by this revelation. John Candy even directed a movie with George Wendt from Cheers. Is George Wendt the one that died recently? Curly hair, heavier set. I do appreciate a good pun every now and then. Another person from Second City TV I miss is Tony Rosato, best known for Cooking with Marcello. Oh my god. I watched, like, what? One episode of SCTV. I saw more ads for SCTV than I saw the actual show. So I think it's mostly because of the time slot. I've mainly known John Candy as the voice of Wilbur from The Rescuer Down Under. Another movie I didn't watch. Get used to hearing that from me. That's why I said, oh my god, I actually watched this movie. Write down the date. Write down the date. Like, I've watched Toy Story 1. That's... Like, in order to get me to watch a movie, like, you need to hold me down, basically. Because movies are long. I have ADHD. I'd rather be like distracted. Like I can sit down for a couple hours for a video game because I'm actually doing something. My hands are moving, stuff like that. I'm making decisions. Like for me to watch a full movie and not check my phone every 5 seconds, you have to get me into a theater. That's how I watch like one Avenger movie, one Guardian of the Galaxy, the Super Mario Brothers movies, but that I actually wanted, really badly wanted to see. You should watch Uncle Buck and the Blues Brothers sometimes. I bet you would love them. Uncle Buck I had actually rented once, but I didn't watch it because I only rented it because Mom couldn't pick a movie, and I didn't watch it because I had rented Chrono Trigger. We even got in a fight for that and said, you asked to, and you rented a movie and you're not even watching it, but I got a game. And because you wouldn't pick a movie and I watch all 3 Toy Stories, though I find Toy Story overrated. They should have stopped that tree. I always wanted to watch Blues Brothers. I think the closest I've ever been to watching Blues Brothers is playing Earthbound, and every time I met the Runaway Five. That's it. The Tonzura Brothers. Pixar should have never continued that after the 3rd. Well, they tried not to continue it, but, you know, it got Dragon Balled. Because here's the thing, Akira Toriyama tried to stop Dragon Ball at least twice that I know of. He was done with Dragon Ball when he finished the first story. That was basically a retelling of Tales to the West or something like that. Travel to the West, Voyage. Anyway. The one with Sun Wukong. But then his editor was like, money! So he kept on. And then, if memory serves right, he tried to stop it after the Frieza saga. Oh, I think he tried 3 times. He tried to stop it after the Frieza saga, but then Vegeta got popular, so he had to resuscitate him and make him part of the main team. And then 1, 2, skip a few. He tried again to stop it after the Buu saga. Literally, like on the cover with Goku, with still having an areola, however it's called in English. In French, it's an auréole. A circle thingy. And Oob being the reincarnation of Boo. Journey to the West. Thank you. I also agree that Toriyama should have ended DBZ with the death of Frieza. He tried! But money! He also tried to shift the hero role from Goku to Gohan. And that didn't work either, because Goku was so popular. Like, he literally killed Goku so many times. But... it was like, okay... Halo, thank you! Thank you! See, this is what's fun. When you have like 3 languages, even with just 2 languages in your head, you will completely forget like the simplest of words. But you will have it in the other language. And now they got what? They got Dragon Ball Heroes, they got Dragon Ball Super, they got Dragon Ball Bankai, Budokai, Karate, hey ho. And the less said about Dragon Ball GT, the better. I mean, I shouldn't talk. This webcomic has been going for 10 years. What can I say? Shit keeps happening to me. I mean, 10 years would be a good number to retire the comics, so then I could make some book versions. Then move on to other stories. I mean, that's what Boom did. They ended Boomerese. They might draw some here and there, but not regularly like she used to do. So I've been considering it because, once again, the comic is 10 years old. That doesn't mean I would stop making comics. That is not... No. It just means I would work on something else. Because when I'm not drawing Bootleg Cookie, I'm drawing comics. Drawing and or coloring comics. Bill Watterson knew when to quit Calvin and Hobbes. I guess it would depend on what people would say if I were to retire a Bootleg Cookie. Mom would be beside herself. She would mourn. She loves Bootleg Cookie. But then if I want to illustrate more stories, I would need to write scripts myself, and scripts. That's another advantage of Bootleg Cookie. It is using my simpler style. My simplest style, really. So it doesn't... Well, I say it doesn't take too long. Hi, Paul. I love the character pose of Shiro. Thank you. I say it doesn't take long. Like, you guys know it takes about 2 hours and a half at most, if not 3, for me to make one strip. And some may even say, well, it doesn't count, you're streaming and you're pausing a lot to talk. You think it's any different when I'm on my own? I literally timed it. The times where I had to cancel the stream because I didn't know what was going on with the sound. It takes me the exact same amount of time because I keep stopping myself to do something else a little bit for my brain to reset and then getting back to work. Nice that your mom supports your art. Ear infection and sore ankles, but otherwise okay. But the good news is I can finally see a dentist again with my new insurance. Finally. Like, Mom didn't really super, kinda not super supported my art at first. But now that I'm scraping some money in, and I get some recognition, and I got a little wooden plaque on my wall, she very supports me. Like, literally, the reason I'm here right now on stream is because she's the one that financed when my old Mac decided that it couldn't support anything anymore. It couldn't update. It stopped supporting my old tablet. She's the one that bought me a new Mac and a new tablet so I could continue working. And I, once again, am very, very, extremely, ridiculously lucky for that. That I can keep working for you guys, thanks to her. That sounds like great news about your insurance, Coco. Yeah, considering where she lives, finally an insurance that actually insure. I got free gym membership too. See, I'm still too lazy for that. No. I got the ear infection swimming at their pool. And that's why the gym membership is free. If you had paid your gym membership, they would have bothered to clean the pool. You get what you pay for. I'm gonna get yelled at. I'm gonna deserve it. Also, some little extra context. The reason I was storing his TV is because that used to be my TV. I had sold it to him so I could replace it with a newer old TV. At the time, the TV was new, okay? It's my transparent purple TV with a remote. Because this one didn't have a remote. It had an extra box so I could get the cable on it. The newer old TV was purple. Still is, actually. It's still in my room. Purple, transparent, had a remote because you could plug the cable directly in it, not have an extra box to convert. And the remote was glowing. The buttons were glow in the dark. Now I think, like, on the TV itself, one of the volume buttons is broken. Not like I can do much with it anyway. Except maybe plug my NES on it and play Duck Hunt. I used to take swim lessons and got warts on my feet from it. From the shower, I would guess. Usually that's where you get the warts. I didn't get the warts in the shower. I got the warts on my feet. See that top quality humor on this channel, folks. Now that I think about it, I turn into a clown every time a camera is turned on me. I wonder how good I would have made on the radio. Because we had video classes, we had radio classes. As soon as the camera turns on me, like... Like, I'm literally only saying that because I was thinking on how he wanted to be a radio host. The ex wanted to be a radio host. And he actually had the chance to host a show on our local radio station that we have in town. And they fired him because he would hesitate too much and constantly say that he was nervous. Dude, shut up and go with the flow. Like, I don't say when it's your first day. But like they gave him like 3 chances. And on the third one, if you haven't improved at least a little bit, you know? Now my fridge is acting up at random intervals and its freezer isn't freezing. Oh, that's no good. My mom's puppy chewed up a few remotes. What, did your mom's puppy also chewed up the cable for the fridge? They have an accessible locker room that is easy for me to get in and out of, and they let me have my cane and house shoes on the pool deck, which is nice. At least. Makes me think of a strong bad email radio. Also, it's not going to show because I drew the TV up front, but this TV is so old. Not only does it have a UHF dial, it was wood paneled. And that's not even the oldest TV I ever owned. The oldest TV I ever owned was plastic, cream colored, and it had... You guys remember how the Game Boy was like 4 shades of green? This TV was 2 shades of blue. This TV only had blue. So, to tell you that I was trying to watch La Bande à Ovid, and everybody looked like Ovid. Now you see, if any of you were from Quebec, you would find this fucking hilarious, because Ovid was a platypus that was completely blue. See, you guys gotta catch up with me. It's all the culture humor. You're missing out because you're not Quebecers. I am absolutely judging you Quebecerly. Well, you could have said the Smurfs. Yeah, but it's funnier with Ovid because Ovid was the only blue one. With the Smurfs, they're all blue. It's not as funny. Get on my level. The one thing I do miss from quote-unquote the old era is how creative televisions would get after a while. My grandpa had this television, this small television. The buttons, the power button was a big triangle, big black triangle, and then the channel numbers buttons were on the TV itself, like from 0 to 9, and they were all small triangles. And the best part, it had a hidden remote. There was this square that you would push on and that would pop out the remote. Pretty hard to lose a remote at this point. But you gotta admit, that's pretty cool. That's pretty freaking cool. The problem is that after a while it broke, so you would watch a show and suddenly the image would go dark. Like gradually, like, ooh. And then you couldn't watch the TV anymore. And then you would turn it off, and like the next day you could turn it on and the image was there again, but then, ooh. And sometimes it would come back and close back down. And come back and close back down. But it was a cool TV with the remote there. When's the last time I save? Just now. There we go. It's better to save than not need it, than not save and have everything shut down. Knock on wood. Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door. Look how friggin' happy my mom is. My mom is just as much of a gremlin as I am. If anything, she's more of a feminine gremlin. I'm more of whatever this is going on gremlin. Like, I think I'm entitled to my gremlinness. No, but my ancestors hailed from Quebec. Oh, the ancestors. Oh, you missed out on a lot of good TV. Sorry. Your mom seems awesome. Oh, she is. Like, she has to deal with me on a daily basis. So imagine back when I was a teenager. This woman is a saint. But then again, she is also a gremlin. So... Sometimes she will participate, no questions asked. Other times she will question the gremliness. And then Dad comes in and encourages the gremliness. I mean, if you're not gonna let her let the kid gremlin, I'm gonna let the kid gremlin. Then he'll hear me out and go, oh yeah, that is a good reason to gremlin, yeah. I agree, yeah, you should gremlin. But as you can see, there were sometimes Mom just agreed with the gremlin right away. She understood the gremlinness. My grandma's TV got a lot of Canadian channels when we would go on trips on her boat. I remember the Canadian channels when I had that wooden TV. Like we had TQS, Radio Canada in 2 languages, so I might as well say 2 channels. TVA, Radio Québec. I said radio, but it's a TV channel. I swear. Now it's called Télé-Québec. Because there was a lawsuit. Shit you not! Radio Canada put down a complaint that Radio Québec should change their name to Télé-Québec because Radio Québec did not start as radio, so they were infringing on Radio Canada's name because Radio Canada started on radio and then it moved to TV. It's all true. Swear to God, like this should be the tagline for the comic. Swear to God, I'm not making shit up. Of course, there's only one speech tale because it's Mom that told him that. Also, yay, boat. You can never go wrong with a little boat raid. You made me remember when we went to the lake one summer. Me, my twin brother, his mom. Yes, I said his mom. Our grandparents. And Pappy would sit us in a little boat. And, like, not necessarily a canoe here, but in back. I can't remember my English anymore. Then he paddled us around the lake and back. That was nice. Also, you can tell by Mom's reaction here that she understood that while I was screaming, I was not screaming at her. Before anybody gets mad that I'm yelling at my mom. I was yelling, but not at my mom. Because here's the thing, I asked her because at the time, I did not have my my permanent driving permit. I only had a student. I ended up getting my real permit at like age 22. I'm like 18 on this. So I needed her permission and asking her if she had the time to do this. And she was like, I have the time now. Let's go, babe. Because once again, let us not forget, we are boat gremlins. And gremlins will gremel. And let's not forget to put the paper back to white. I put it on a shade of gray to make it easier on my eyes because that is a lot of staring at a white screen. At a mainly white screen for a while. Let's take a look-see now. Like, you see this? This is not a fear reaction. Okay? This is like, that's my child. I think I'm gonna put some red in my eyes and then call it a day on this one. Because there's a thing, you don't want to overwork a piece. Ah, yeah, much better. Because if there's one thing that I don't recommend is overworking a piece, trying to make it perfect, and then looking at it and go, ah, it's a piece of shit. No, it's not. You worked on it. You still practiced. Sometimes a piece is just good enough, you know? Or else you don't just pass through the paper with the supplies, you pass through your own creativity in your own brain. And then you're sad from something that's supposed to be fun. Thanks for a great show, Shiro. Your comic looks awesome. Thank you, Paul, and thank you for helping me with everything. It's immensely appreciated. And speaking of, you know what this means? When the comic is done, we go to the bookend and we give extra special caramel drizzled chocolate syrup, rainbow sprinkle thanks to all our support. Thanks for the stream. I needed it. Thank you, Cartoon Girl. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Amber B, Paul K, Miss Novice, Sir E Othered, Bad at Multiplayers, Blas 6, Laura S, Matthew H, Corbsy, and the part-time supporters Super Dude at 808 and Rocket Mouse. Your continued support is immensely appreciated. Next live stream, of course, going to be next Sunday, September 20th. That's 2 days after my birthday. I don't have to work on my birthday, yay! At 1 p.m. Eastern time. That's my time, not your time. Maybe your time. I don't know you. I don't know your life. Hope you guys had fun watching me draw this. A lot of fun drawing. I'll see you guys next week. I love you all with my cracky voice. And bye-bye.